Yes, hello all. A very good evening. I welcome you all to day two of our session on food packaging essential techniques. My name is Deandra Disa, and I'm an associate admin at Foodyaari, and I will be your host for today's session. We are glad to have Mr. Maharajan Sundar back for this session. A warm welcome on behalf of Team Foodyaari. Attendees, please be with us till the end for information about the certificates. Over to you now, sir.
Uh, Good evening, everybody. Hope your day was great, and thank you, Deandra. Uh, okay, let's jump into session. We don't have time to waste. Okay, have you all experienced earlier or recently when you bought a food product? Have you ever experienced an abnormality or unusuality in the taste of the product which you consume frequently or regularly? If yes, share in the comment section. Okay, you can ask why I am talking about this. Oh, it is an important parameter we are about to discuss next to water vapor transmission rate and oxygen transmission rate. It is known as overall migration rate or overall migration test. We should find an overall migration rate value for all the packaging materials where we pack food products. You can ask me why it is happening. Is this all because of plastics? If the question is yes or no, it is not because of plastics. It Plastic when made to act to move. If a plastic or packaging material has to be made, it has to be made in a quick condition, and during the process of manufacturing a packaging material, we have to add many things as catalysts. That is what I told yesterday, additives. Polymer plus additives, we get plastics. For the same packaging material, whatever the packaging material is, without additives a proper packaging material cannot be made. These additives, such as plasticizer, uh, flame retardants, blowing agent, there are many such additives which involve in the making of packaging materials. These packaging these additives tend to migrate from the packaging material to the food products or whatever the product it is. Here to the food products. The determination, there are certain standards and techniques which limits the packaging material migration to rate of migration of the additives from the packaging material to the food. It is known as determination of overall migration of constituents of plastic materials, which is additives, and the articles intended to come in contact with foodstuffs. It has a certain step of procedure we will discuss in the further slides. It is according to the IS standards 9845 1998. This standard prescribes the methods of analysis for determination of overall migration constitute of single or multi-layered EAT sealable films, single homogeneous non-sealable films, finished containers and closures for sealing as lids in the form or preform or converted form. Okay, let's jump into the migration test. Okay, for this, we are taking, listen this very carefully. I haven't mentioned the sample size and things in the slides. I will tell, it will be very useful for you guys. So, we are taking, for example, it is a flexible plastic. Flexible plastic in the sense, packaging of chips or biscuits that comes under flexible plastics, and rigid plastics. Rigid plastic in the sense, packaging of sauces, ketchups, so and so. So these are rigid and flexible packaging. For this, flexible packaging has a different technique, and rigid packaging materials has a different technique. Flexible packaging technique, we have to take a sample of 125 into 200 and we will take the stimulant which is listed here. Stimulant A is distilled water, and stimulant B is 3% of acetic acid in aqueous solution of distilled water. Stimulant C1 is 10% of ethanol, and stimulant C2 is 50% of ethanol in aqueous solutions. Stimulant D is N-heptane. Stimulant E is rectified olive oil or mixture, synthetic triglycerides or sunflower oil. Okay, we will take this stimulants based upon the nature of the product. We will consider at only one. We will consider what we will do is we will take this stimulant and we will pour into the sample, and we will seal the sample, and we will keep it in an oven for drying, oven at this prescribed temperature for the prescribed time duration. The foods are classified as listed here: aqueous, aqueous but non-acidic foods which have pH greater than 5. Like examples are given. It for these products, simulants A should be used. Aqueous but acidic foods whose pH is greater than less than or equal to 5, simulant B should be used. Alcoholic beverages, alcohol percentage less than 10%, then C1 should be used. Alcohol concentration above 10%, simulant C2 should be used. Oils, fats, and oil items, the simulant D should be used. And then non-acidic foods. For non-acidic foods, pH greater than, here non-acidic foods pH greater than 5 or high fat and high moisture content, A and D should be used. A or D, whether the pH is greater than 5 or the high fat content. If the pH is greater than 5, simulant A should be used. If the high fat content, simulant D should be used. Dry and processed food without fat. These are no end test. We will discuss what we have to do with that. Okay. Suppose this is the time and temperature consideration for a migration test to be considered. Okay. For high temperature heat sterilizing retort, and if it is a type of food 1, 2, and 4, what is the type of food 1, 2, and 4? It is listed here: non-acidic foods, acidic foods, alcoholic beverages. So if the high temperature acidic foods, if it is about pH is greater than 5 or less than 5, in reference to the above table, if it is uh, if it is pH is greater than 5, simulant A should be used. Now consider here the simulant, the pH of the product is greater than 5. So that we have to use the water, distilled water as the simulant. The standard time temperature range is 121 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. So that, for example, if the percentage of if it is a freshly prepared food, for example bakery based products such as biscuits and cakes, breads, such as, it has to be the simulant n f10 should be selected, and it has to be poured inside the packaging material, and it has to be sealed, and we have to keep this thing in an oven for 66 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. Then the pouch should have been, after 2 hours we have to take the pouch, we have to cut, and we have to pour it into a clean pyrus beaker. After that we will boil it, and we will get an extract. Before pouring the simulant, migrated simulant in the beaker, we have to weigh the beaker, so that we will get we will get the so that we will get the beaker value. Next, after adding and drying the simulant from the beaker, we will get an extraction concentrate. And then final, we have to measure the remains of extraction, so that final weight minus initial weight uh, gives the value of the concentrate, amount of concentrate. Usually for flexible plastics, the amount of migration should be under 10 milligram per decimeter square. The amount of migration should be 10 milligram per decimeter square. For rigid plastics, the technique will be totally different, but the terms and conditions are same. What we will do is we will cut the plastic into pieces, and we will put it into an simulant container, simulant holding container, and same process will be followed. Then the plastic pieces of the bottle will be taken out, and it is extracted, and the final value will be found out. And maximum for a rigid plastic, the value should be less than or equal to 60 milligram per liter. And Next, we will go to plastic recycling symbols. Plastic recycling symbols for PET, it is polyethylene terephthalate, it is 1. For high density polyethylene, it is 2. For PVC, it is 3. For LDPE, it is 4. For PP, it is 5. For polystyrene, it is 6. For and others, it is 7. Okay, we have discussed about the packaging materials, various type of packaging materials in the earlier session. Why packaging is widely used? We we, 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 we will have a question why packaging alone is already widely used. That too, why flexibles are majorly used. Here comes the thing. Glass bottles, when compared to a rigid plastic bottle, for example, displayed Heinz tomato ketchup bottle, it weighs less than 56% of the glass bottle. Okay, then we started using plastic laminates. When compared to the rigid plastic bottle, plastic laminates weighs less than 93% less than rigid pack plastic bottle, but it do the same work as the rigid plastic bottle. It holds the product inside and it able to dispose the product, dispense the product, and we can reuse it for a number of time under proper storage conditions. Then this is also is seen in the market. Metal container. Metal container weighs around, for example, Amul 1 liter ghee. The container of the metal container weighs around 114.2 grams. But when compared to a rigid plastic, it just weighs around 77. It is almost 33% less weight. And bag in box is nothing but outside it will be a paper board and inside it will be stored in a polymer thing. Okay, then it weighs around only 45 gram. When compared to rigid plastic, only 60%, 61% less packaging weight. So there comes plastic laminate. It is almost weighs around just 8.5 gram, but holds a liter of ghee like metal, rigid, and bag in box. But it 90 it consumes about 93% less packaging material by weight. So we conclude that it by lowest material usage is equal to lowest weight is equal to lowest cost. Whatever the packaging material product manufactured by an industry, the manufacturer will just to go and dependent upon the low cost savings attitude, because whatever the ways he can cut short his price, it will directly improve his profits, thereby improve his revenue. So that manufacturers or top companies will only prefer on cost cutting, cost saving, whatever it is, either it is manpower or packaging material. Okay, let's go on to an interesting topic. It is flexibles. We have discussed generally about things, and we will discuss about flexibles and various polymeric layer combinations. Because for that is especially used for food packaging. Because you generally you have seen about we have heard separate polymeric layers. When you think about a laminate, you certain people might think that it is of only one layer, but it is not actually. When for different packaging material based upon the product's nature, as we discussed, it requires different parameters and things, because biscuits need moisture barrier and a gas barrier, chips need absolute gas barrier, but biscuit doesn't need it absolutely. It needs gas barrier, but not in case of chips. Okay, now we will discuss some of the topics, and I will show around 10 to 15 various type of packaging layer combination for different packaging products. For example, confectionery packaging, it is PET. PET means polyethylene terephthalate. MET-PET, it is known as metallized polyethylene terephthalate, and poly is generally polyester. Why it is used? It is a combination of a barrier layer, a printing layer, and a food contact layer. It is not mandatory that more than 3 layers should present in a package. It can be two or it can be three. Most of the cases it will be only two. For example, for a packaging, for a product to be packed, it should have three basic principles, three basic needs to be, it should serve, the packaging material should serve. First, barrier property. The barrier property helps in saving the packaging product which is packed inside. That is barrier properties in the sense water vapor, gas barrier, and oxygen transfer rate. And this printability, the thing should give a good printability nature. For example, for communication purpose it should give, and information sharing purpose it should give a good printable surface. And third one is the sealing. Once product packed and printed, it cannot be left open. For the product to be regain its original state where it is manufactured to till the end user, it should be properly sealed. Mostly, inner layer of a packaging material will be a sealing agent, and it should give a heat seal stability. And the seal should be with, it should withstand for a long time until or unless someone tries to open it. Okay, here the PET is the first one in a confectionery packaging. The PET acts as a polymeric sealing agent. Metallized PET act as a barrier layer. And polyester act as a printing surface. It gives good printing and good ink refractions. For and then biscuits, for example, BOPP. You might have wondered what is BOPP. BOPP is nothing but it is polypropylene. It is oriented in both the direction. It is a highly polymeric subject. I'll explain you in short, or else you can search in YouTube or websites. Biaxially oriented, its proper explanation is biaxially oriented polypropylene. While manufacturing a plastic material, suppose in this case, while manufacturing a polypropylene film, it is oriented in machine direction. Orientation is nothing but lengthening. It will just expand so that the wide strands of the polymeric will get close to each other, so that it improves the quality of the film. In this case, biaxially oriented, that is machine direction and transverse direction, it is oriented. And the things are oriented. Polypropylene films gives great water resistant when compared to normal or oriented polypropylene OPP films, unidirectionally oriented polypropylene films. Okay, and this comes for, okay, a recycling symbol for polystyrene. Kindly listen. Recycling symbol for polystyrene. Comment the answer in the chat section, and write out if possible. And for floor packaging, it is just poly. As we discussed, polymer will give, for example, atta. If we considering atta, we'll just need a printable surface which should display the information we need to communicate to the customers. And sealing agent, sealing layer, it is just PET. Okay, then retort pouches, which is an hot topic these days, which is used for making ready to eat. Retortable CPP. Generally, PP as an ability as a great wear resistance. Wear resistance in the sense we can use for high temperature application, and we can use for opening and closing of things. Okay, retortable CPP will be outer layer, and aluminum foil, it acts as an AL in the sense it is aluminum foil, it is the barrier layer. And nylon layer. Nylon layer reduces the abrasion of aluminum foil with the PET, that is sealing layer. This is an nylon acts as an adhesive come abrasion resistance. Okay, high retort, there are two types available. High retort under, sorry, this pouch gives high retort conditions, that is under 125 degrees celsius we can heat the package ready to cook foods. And it provides high barrier because of presence of aluminum foil, which is a metal which gives absolute, nearly absolute barrier for oxygen transfer and moisture transfer. In snack food package, it is generally PET, metallized PET, and polyester. Ghee and snack food have the same combinations, but in case the layer should be reduced, PET or poly is also used. In this case, we have to remember that polyester is an printing layer and PET is the sealing layer. In the above case, PET, MET-PET, poly is the printable layer, MET-PET is the barrier layer, PET is the sealing agent, that is food contact layer. For ketchup packaging, it is just PET, aluminum foil, poly. Printing, likewise, we can. I am reading in the reverse order. Poly will give good printing. Foil, aluminum foil, AL or foil means the same. Aluminum foil gives a great barrier properties. PET gives a sealing property. And jelly, it is a thermoformed plastic which has three layers. That is PET. It can be used for printing purpose or outer barrier, and PVC acts as a core. It gives a good shape to the jelly, that cubical formation, and polystyrene act as an inner layer. This is a structure of stand-up pouches. A trend of using stand-up pouches is keep on increasing. It can be from namkins and highly high-end cash products like badam, pista, whatever it is. They are started to pack on stand-up pouches. Here we will discuss the thing. Aluminum out from outer to inside we will go. Polyester is the outer surface. It gives excellent printable surface. It gives strength to the structure. Aluminum foil, it acts as a barrier layer. It protects from light, gas, and odors. It helps in expanding of the shelf life of the product. Like I told earlier, a nylon film layer will act as an abrasion resistance between polypropylene layer, which is a food contact layer, and the polypropylene layer will act as a heat seal surface. It provides flexibility and strength that the package requires. And yesterday, one of the participants have asked about lamitubes, and here is the split up of layers of a lamitube, which is generally this is what I have displayed is for toothpaste packaging, and we can go through it. And from the product, if we see in a outer, the food contact layer or the paste contact layer is polyethylene or OPP or CPP. OPP is unidirectionally oriented polypropylene or just oriented polypropylene, and CPP is, it is a form of manufacturing polypropylene by casting process, cast manufacturing of a, so that a film is made manufactured by cast manufacturing process. Okay, and the foil is metallized. And the barrier layer here is metallized OPP or foil. Metallized OPP is nothing but it is just laminated with aluminum powder or aluminum sheet. That is metallized OPP. And in between the foil and the food contact layer, there will be an adhesive to make the structure clear. The adhesive will help in maintain the structure. Then above the metal foil, it is again an adhesive which has an OPP or a PET film which is reverse printed. When printing is done on a laminates or flexibles, it is reverse printed. Why it is reverse printed? When it is reverse printed, when feeding into the machine, it will display for the visibility purpose, proper normal visibility purposes, so that it is designed reverse printed. Next, this is tetra pack, structure of a tetra pack, and the combination which I am telling. It is not mandatory that all the same combination should be maintained for different manufacturers. Based upon their requirement and their product nature, the combination layers might also change. Okay, please keep in the mind. For tetra pack, these are the tetra pack we use to drink juices, and milk packets are coming in tetra packs. The outer layer is made of polyethylene, which is a printable layer, and the next layer is the paper board. Paper board is the thickest of thickest, which gives the proper structure and standing strength to the tetra pack. Then a polyethylene layer, which is nothing but it is an adhesive layer of polymer adhesive layer. There comes aluminum foil, then an adhesive layer, then polyethylene. we will wonder why this many polyethylene layers are here. Outer polyethylene layer is given for printable printability. Then a paperboard. The paperboard can't stick directly with aluminum. For that purpose, aluminum foil. For that purpose, polyethylene adhesive has been used. It will be used in a sheet form, and then the aluminum again in the inner part, it can't directly attach with a polyethylene, so that in a melt form the polyethylene is introduced, and a sheet polyethylene sheet is again introduced over it, so that a layer is formed, and various mechanical steps are done to form a tetra pack until it is filled. Okay, and the polyethylene layer is the inner layer which contacts with the food. Then we jump on to metal containers. Metal containers are of, basically we know these Aldirams and gulab jamuns, rasamalais are packed in metal containers. So why these metal containers are used? Uh, these metal containers are metal and glass are basically absolute barrier for gas, oxygen, and water vapor. So these metal containers are used. Before making a metal containers, the metal containers are generally made of steel. These steels are treated with coated with steel plates are coated with tin coated. Okay, this tin plated steel will be used in manufacturing of metal containers. The metal containers are classified into three types. It is open top sanitary cans. It is also known as three-piece cans. Draw and redraw cans. It is also known as two-piece formed cans. All the sheets before fabrication are tin plated. The plated sheets are then cut into size and fabricated into a container by using various mechanical actions. The fabricated containers are lacquer coated from inside of the formed container. The end closures are made in separate process. If you have any doubts, you can keep on posting on the chat. We will discuss in the final 15 or 20 minutes so that I can answer your queries. Diandra, please note on these questions so that we can discuss
Yes,
them
yes.
later.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will jump on to open sanitary cans, open top sanitary cans. Okay, this is the nomenclature of basically two different cans. The left one, it consists of three-piece cans or open top sanitary cans, and the right one is of draw and redraw cans. The components, it is called canner's end. Top, it is the closure of the three-piece can. Why it is known as three-piece can? The three-piece cans are called because the top closure and bottom closure and the body are made separate, so that by various mechanical actions the three parts are put on together and then it is packed. Hence, it is known as three-piece cans. And why it is known as two-piece or draw and redraw cans? Two-piece cans, it has only two components. One is one-piece body, and it consists of only one closure at the top. Okay, and the three-piece can as a seamer's end, maker's seam end. They will form a sheet. We will see the process here. Okay, tin plated coil will be rolled out, and the sheet will be cut by various mechanical actions into different size of sheets, same size of sheets as per the requirement of the dia of the container. So the body blanks are cut out, and the body blanks are rolled, and it is welded. Welding is of three types that we can't discuss here now due to time lag, uh, less time availability. Welding is of different types. Then the same process, other side of the manufacturing unit, the same tin plate coil will be, the tin plate will be unfolded, and the sheets will by using die punches, the closures are top end closure or bottom end closures are uh, cut out by using punches, and the punches are made. And next, after welding the body part, the end will be flanged as seen in the picture. It will be by various mechanical action. By using mechanical action, it will be flanged. Then the flanges will be, the body will be beaded. Beaded in the sense, it will give a, why do you all have wondered why the tin plate containers which has a rasamalai or gulab jamun, which has a series of stripes in it, series of circles in it. It is because due to the ability, because all these containers are further used for retorting certain containers. For retorting purposes, you know about retorting process. For retorting purposes, the metal container is metal, it will expand. When the food products inside it while retorting will exhibit internal vacuum pressure, and the heat will create external pressure. When these pressures act on a metal container, it will tend to distort the packaging. The metal container might distort. To avoid the distortion, this these beads are made. However, these beads reduces the compression strength when stacked one above the other, reduces the compression strength of the metal container. At the same way, the ends are shaped. Ends are shaped, and only one end of the container will be clinched. One end of the container will be clinched and the other end will be kept separate, and both top end or bottom end will be sent to the manufacturers in a separate conditions. Then the manufacturer will fill the product, and he has the mechanical arrangements or machine setup to fix the container can, and he will clinch the one end. Here, it is the left side image. It is the inverted position of the bottom part of the container. That is end closure, bottom end closure. Have you ever wondered why this bottom end closure can be plain? Why they have given this many beading kind of thing? Because as per I earlier said, the cans might or definitely will undergo retorting. During retorting, the product inside will expand. While expanding, it will directly transfer the heat. The metal containers actually transfer heat to the product. In return, it will also transfer heat. This tend to expand the body surfaces of the body, that is body and the bottom closure of the metal container. This arrangement will prevent the base of the metal container from distortion. Okay, then this is a most important component on the right side image. It is called lining compound. The lining compound will usually found between, as it is a three-piece can, the body will be here, and the bottom layer will be, the closure will be kept, and it is end flanged. Body end will be flanged like this, and the closure will be coming like this. And these has to be rolled together. When it is blindly rolled together without a lining compound, it might tend to leak the product which is packed inside. To avoid leakages, the lining compound is introduced between the lining compound is just, you think like a rubber band. You just elaborate the rubber band to the body shape, or it can be like it is a food grade lining compound, so that it will again folded. It prevents the leakage. And DRD cans, two body cans. It is nothing but coil. The tin plated coil will be removed, and using die punch only, a small portion will be formed. Then what will happen? The portions formed, the second step we have seen, the cut blank and draw cup. It is the first draw, and here the drawn cups are further drawn to give the body a total shape by using a punch, which gives a bottom tooling element is also present, which gives the shape of the container. It is usually used for beverages packaging. Okay. Benefits of using metal container. It is actually a strong, non-toxic, compatible with aggressive production stages, withstand vacuum and pressure as we discussed, light and odor barrier. Already I told, attractive or printed. It can be printed before the making of cans. It can be the printed sheets can be rolled out to make the cans, or the made cans can also be printed from the outside. It has a bright and reflective surface. Lacquer. Lacquer is an important component after making a three piece or a two piece can, a protective layer should be given inside. Because why this protective layer? Metal, it is highly reactive with liquid kind of thing. When this reactive in the sense, it might corrode. For preventing the corrosion, we already give a tin plating, but even though for extra protection and protecting the food from the metal container from migration, as we discussed earlier, this lacquer coating is good. This lacquer coating should not be it should be non-toxic, and it should meet FDA regulation. It should not give unwanted odor. It should give chemical resistance. It should possess excellent adhesive properties with the metal container, and it should possess resistance to withstand tooling. Suppose in case if we are, for example, after opening it, we just used to take a rasamalai or gulab jamun using a spoon. For example, if we are taking 10 pieces by scratching the inner part of the container, it should not get removed, so that it should withstand tooling, should allow deep or stamping. Food grade lacquers, there are following are the mentioned are the food grade lacquers, and out of which all are majorly used for metal containers, food grade lacquers. Okay, all your resins, all your resins, when we see, there will be a it might see metal container inside side might be a gold color. It will be like looking like gold side. So that all your resins, modified phenolic and phenolic acetate, are basically gold color lacquers, which is non toxic, and it will give a good which are very good lacquers, food grade lacquers. All your resins are generally, it is used in packaging of fruits, and fruits in metal containers. And modified phenolics, it is used for peas, vegetables, meat, etc. And phenolic acid is used for solid meat. And apart from this, epoxy ester, epoxy phenolic, and epoxy acrylics are there. These are used for, epoxy ester are used for fatty components like butter and fats. And epoxy phenolic are used when high degree of chemical resistance needed for a product. And this acrylic, epoxy acrylic, are used for, generally used for normal food packaging, food cans. Okay, we'll go get on to ancillary packaging materials. Ancillary packaging materials are those without which a packaging will not be a complete. Okay, following are the list of ancillary packaging material. Uh, Ancillary packaging materials are one which makes a product or a packaging complete. Remember this term, ancillary packaging material. Without ancillary packaging materials, a packaging will not be a will not become complete. Okay, these are the following ancillary packaging materials majorly. Uh, Adhesives. As we discussed in lamination, while we are discussing lamination, I showed a layer of adhesive. Adhesive in the sense, it might be, we will see the in the upcoming slides, it might be starch based adhesives or polymeric based adhesives. Majorly in food laminates, it is polymeric based adhesives, because the starch has a property of losing its adhesive property for when long duration in shelf time. And printing inks, printing inks are one of the major important ancillary component, because these printing inks are generally provide attraction to the customer. It helps the manufacturer to communicate with the consumer, retailer, or the in the supply chain. Labels, again, it shows a contents of the ingredients and contents of the products, and labels are of different types. That is also we will discuss in the upcoming slides. Caption closes. This is the important component. This is an important ancillary packaging material. Without it, no packaging material exists. No product packaging exists. Cushioning material. Cushioning material in the sense, the bubble wraps, or paper, or CF cartons, and this thing, thermocols. so that these are called cushioning materials, and it will be used for fragile material packaging. For example, wine is packed. Wine will be in a glass container. What is glass? Glass is generally a fragile. When packing a glass, it can be used. It should give. We should give proper cushioning to it so that it will reach the end user proper, neat, and safe. And reinforcement material. While we discussing about unit load, different types of packaging, I have mentioned a thing like strapping. Strapping is one of the important component without which a supply chain will not exist. Adhesives, as I told, adhesives are used. Adhesives are basically into two categories. One is starch based adhesives and other one is polymeric based adhesives. Okay, starch based adhesives are not majorly used because it its lifetime is very low, and heat treatment cannot be done on it. If a heat treatment is done, the adhesive will lose its property. But here it is not in the case based of polymeric adhesives. In case of flexible food packaging, polyurethanes are used in as adhesives in most of the case. Printing inks. Printing inks are of different types. Printing ink based upon the requirement of the industry and the requirement of the life of the printing to be displayed to the customer, the printing inks are decided. It is water based dye and water based pigment, oil based, bio ink, mineral oil free, invisible security inks, fluorescent inks. Water based dye and pigment, it is generally water based, but what is the difference between dye and pigment? Dye is completely soluble in water, but pigment is not soluble in water. And these are the different types of ink. What to do with the packaging? This printing inks, which consist of oil and other polymeric materials, okay, other polymeric materials, which is also has a capability of migration from the outer layer of the package to the inner layer, inner food product, under certain circumstances of storage conditions or during long time storage in the package. Okay, and bio based ink, it is not completely available in the market, but it is also be used. And invisible security marks, it is a microwave or infrared activated. These are used in security purposes. Fluorescent inks, it will give brightness to the different types of colors. And where the printing inks are used, printing inks are used for external packaging, for direct contact of food product, or for immediate food wrapping, or labels, and printed matter. It is not used, varnishes for printed matter, it is not that much useful for food packaging, but it is also used for varnishing of printed matter. Okay, there is a ink called thermochromic inks that is used in freshness check systems. Okay, we will take a case of a beef product. Beef as a product which is packed inside a packaging material. Okay, and beef is as it is a protein based, highly protein content. It has an ability to undergo deproteinization or fragmentation of beef component. When this happens, even it is storage condition, the it will be mentioned in the temperature over the package that storage conditions is 72, storage time is 72 hours, and the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Even though it naturally degrades, the beef started to naturally degrade. What happens? The degradation, oxidative deaminization happens, decarboxylation happens, desulfurification happens. Hence, it releases NH3CO2 and H2S. What to do with this? How it will help in checking the freshness? This used as an label. This thermochromic ink used in labels, which has an ability to determine, observe, change their color from change their color from red to yellow. If the thing is a complete yellow, the product is spoiled. Okay, it observes basically here in this given in the given picture, lower membrane. There will be two membranes. Okay, above it, it is generally normally packed. The lower membrane will permit the gas to pass through the upper layer. The upper layer consists of a sensor. It is not actually a sensor. It is an filter paper. It is just printed with methyl red. It is a paper printed with methyl red, or it can be printed with boracyl green, methyl yellow, methyl red, or phenolic ring. What this ink will do, when these gases, when permeate through the bottom layer, it will pass on through the filter paper, which is coated with methyl red. With By the reaction with the NH3CO2 and H2S, the color tend to change from, as mentioned here, from red to intermediate yellow to yellow, complete yellow. This is used as freshness check system, and time and temperature indicator also use inks in packaging. It is actually the freshness check system. It is used as a label in certain cases. Labels is another important concept. It helps in identifying the product by providing information, and it also delivers the purpose of the use of the products. It gives good appeal to the product, decoration as evidence. It gives safety, child safety, and other information like retail price, batch number, shelf life, or best before date, etc. And this is also printed with printing inks, or digital printing is also done on bottles, and other packaging is also. Label types. Label is of two types: non-adhesive label materials and pre-adhesive label materials. Non-adhesive label material, which has one part is printed and other part is nothing, it will be plain. Okay, while packing the product, at the final stage of completion of closing the thing, the label will come in one direction and the glue will be applied, and it will be affected by mechanical means to the product, so that, and it will directly goes to a dryer for drying purpose. Then there is a shrink or stretch sleeve. Shrink or stretch sleeve are currently are in increasing usage, because manufacturers are tend to use the shrink or stretch sleeves. Shrink or stretch sleeve we will see in a small gif in the upcoming slide. In mold is an brilliant technique, but it is not used majorly due to limitations in the cost. Okay, limitations in the cost. While making the bottle itself, the inside the mold, the label material will be filled, and then the bottle is made, so that while before the polymeric bottle or the laminate will not be done. It is done for only rigid materials. Before the rigid material dry, it will be fitted. During its natural drying process, the labels will be fitted. And pre-adhesive layer, it is of three types: water activated, heat activated, and pressure sensitive. Water activated, do you remember, everybody might have used the revenue stamps. What it will be, it will be a layer of adhesive material will be applied. We will just use a drop of water over it, we will apply, or we will just use our saliva and will stick over the postcard. That is water activated. This kind of labels is also used. And heat activated, it will be just same. The adhesive material will be in one side, and it will be coated, it will be fixed by mechanical means, and the heat will be applied, so that the adhesive sticks to the product. Pressure sensitive, after pressure applying it, the pressure proper, while applying the label itself, the mechanical means they will give, the mechanical component will give pressure to the uh, body of the container, so that the label gets stick to it. And this is the string sleeve. This is the string sleeve. String sleeves have overtaken by means of providing tamper evident food packages. Sleeves decorating scenes, as it is also, string sleeves are used for tamper evident, and it is perceived for maintaining a differential value. It can be used for combo packages. It can be used here, it is until neck it is packed in a combo pack. It can also be, we can increase the length in the upper direction, so that it can cover the entire bottle itself. Labels. These are the following materials used to manufacturing the label. They are BOPP, as I explained. It is biaxially oriented polypropylene and oriented polypropylene OPP, or unidirectionally oriented polypropylene and polypropylene. Why these three polypropylenes are mentioned? Because polypropylene has a great wear resistance. It provides a good water resistance. It provides good tear resistance and tensile resistance also when it is oriented. Okay, that's why the oriented polypropylene will give great tensile resistance or tear resistance. Biaxially oriented will give tear and tensile resistance, and generally, and it also gives great water moisture barrier to the product pack. And polyethylene and PVC, generally out of all of these, PVC is mostly used due to its cost preference and material availability and everything. Barcode, we whatever the product we have seen, it is nothing but we will have a barcode in it. What is a generally a barcode? Barcode is an one dimensional means. It is a linear one dimensional structure which on which it is computationally stored the data of the product, where it is manufactured, by whom it is manufactured, at what time it is manufactured. Okay, and later from barcode to certain products, till date certain products are changed from barcode, that is one dimensional, to QR codes, which is two dimensional, which used a direct a mesh a receiver kind of thing, which is used to a detector, which is used to check when and where it is made. It is also used. And for this barcode, we will understand what is a barcode properly and how it is mentioned. Decoding barcode. Okay, we all know what is barcode, and it is just the purpose we all know before me I explain itself. But what are the numbers mentioned in it? We should know it, right? Let us discuss. Three First three mentions the country code, and other four mentions the manufacturer code. Next four, and other five represents the product code, and last one is check digit. It is for used for checking purpose, and we can also check what a check digit is. Again, I'm telling you, this is for it consists of 3 plus 4. So, okay, this is the total numbers, and it consists of first three digits of country code. The 890 is country code for India, and next four digit is manufacturer's code, and next five digit is product code, and the last digit is check digit. And how the check digit can be calculated. And in India, in outer India, other than India, the check digit will be outer to the lines. It is shown here, but in India the check digit will be inside the line. Okay, we have to take the check digit calculation. We have to just take the alternative lines, alternative numbers: 0, skip 3, 6, skip 0, include 0, skip. We have to multiply it by skipping one number into 3 plus. Again, what are the numbers we have skipped? 3 plus 0 plus 0 plus 9 plus 4. Again, we will get 58. We have to take modulus of 10, so that it will gives 8, which is greater than 0. 10, 10 minus 8 will give 2. That is the check. As we take mod of 10, we will minus the 10 by 8, so that we will get 2. That is the check digit. RFID. It is also an existing upcoming technological features which is help in calculation, which is help in maintaining the track record of the package within the industry and outside the industry as well. It is just by using the radio frequency. RFID is radio frequency identification. It just uses electromagnetic fields to automatically identify and track the tags which is attached to the objects. It is not visible outside, but it is generally made with the labels of the product, which above it, in front of it, barcode might also be connected. There is a similarity between RFID and barcodes, but but RFID is an mm, improved structure, improved labeling means for determination of a product life cycle, but it no but the barcode, for accessing the barcode we have to make a direct contact like QR code. When we are paying in GPay or Google Pay, we'll make a direct contact with the linear facing of the receiver or a detector to the uh, linear facing of the detector to the barcode is mandatory, but it is not in case of RFID. We just pass electromagnetic signals. It might be size of a door of a room, or it can be like a little tooling machine which just emits radio frequency waves. The what we are seeing on the right side, it is not just a metallic component, but it is an little circuit which is generally it this circuit which receives the signal and again gives feedback to the receiver, that it shows that it receives and it tells it I am here, consider me also. Okay. And this mostly used RFID are of passive tags, which involves very short radiation, short distance, up to 1 meter range is now used in India's caps and closures. As we discussed, caps and closures plays an important role, and caps and closures form a product particularly, and it helps in dispensing of the product which is packed inside, and it can be reclosed, and it helps the packaging material to be closed and open whenever the customer requires. Okay. This caps and closures, what is the major functions of it? It should give a good seal, proper seal. When whether it is different types of closures, it might be, it should give complete avoidance of the environmental influence, at least by maximum extent. It should give access to the product. It should give proper control. Once if you open, for example, if you are taking a ketchup, if you are just Maggie Pichko, if you are just opening it, if you just inverting it, it should not flow completely from inside the package to the plate or the bread, whatever it is. It should, on the control of the package, on the control of it, it should fall down, or else it will wastage of product will happen. Product closure compatibility. Product closure compatibility is also should be seen. For an laminates, we can't give such for a glass bottle we can't give an unsuitable plastic closure. Okay. And verbal and itself, it might also used in verbal and visual communication. It should be impact resistance in this sense. Closure is a thing which we tend to usually open and close invariable uh, n number of times, so that we it will provide impact on it, so that the cap and closure should resist the impact provided by it. Based upon the convenience of usage, there are four types of closure, and that is fixed sprout closures, movable sprout closures, plug orifice closures, tamper evident closure. The first one, white one, is the fixed sprout closures. Whenever we go to a fast food, there will be a ketchup or sauce dispensing can. Over it, there will be a closure that is that is fixed sprout closure, and then plug or movable sprout closure. Movable sprout closure, we might have seen this in oil dispensing can be used this movable sprout closure, or else, for example, even if you guys have not seen, you might have seen Vim bottles, Vim gel, which is used as a dishwasher, that as a fixed movable sprout. And plug orifice, the right one, which is like a line diagram, it is a plug type orifice. Plug and orifice closure, where the upper part which has a plug and lower part which has an orifice which is attached to it, And for example, coconut bottles, parachute coconut oil, when you open it, it will open. When you close it, it is closed. That is example of plug type orifice. And this tamper evident closures are of three types. Basically, it is mechanical breakaway. Tamper evident closures prevent unwanted inclusion of unwanted products intentionally or mistakenly into the product which is packed inside. It is of three types. That is mechanical breakaway, tear band, and vacuum closures. Tamper evident vacuum lugs. Haldirams, which is mentioned, na, it is used for closing of glass bottles, especially jams. Jams coming in glass bottles will be with tea vacuum closures. This will be made of metal, and it will be packed under vacuum, and the closure will be fixed under vacuum. And generally, when we get a 20 rupees Pepsi or a big 2 liters or 1 liter of Pepsi, the thing is, when we open it, there will be a sound like crack, and it will open. That is called mechanical breakaway. That is also a tamper evident. But in some other bottles, you might have seen the ring which is given. It might be removed as a band. That is tear band closure. Strapping materials. Strapping material is generally it is the last but an important key. Strapping material, it is generally a last but an important key in the packaging operation. Strapping are generally used for reinforcing, bailing, palletizing, unitizing, bundling, or tying. What happens? As we discussed earlier, the distribution packages are held together and it is placed over a pallet. It is known as palletization. When the uh, when the when the palletization will complete, the will complete only when the strapping materials are over it. Strapping materials are over it. Generally, strapping materials are of two types. It is metallic and non-metallic. Metallic is just not used till date. Earlier, it was used because of their cost and difficulty in handling to make a to fit with a consignment. It is not using. However, they are not using it currently. However, for heavy products like industrial packaging, when an engine is transferred from one part to the another, these round wires are used. Round wires or steel straps or bands are used. But in packaging of consumer goods, of food products, a product will be packed in a primary package, secondary package, and distribution package, and then it is packed in a container, and it will be strapped. Mostly, it is packed in polyester based material or nylon material or polyolefins material. This these materials will give better stacking, and it provides the container to shake. It uh, it provides the container a stability not to shake while during handling or transportation, uh, or while transporting. Okay, majorly polyesters are used because of its longevity and their tensile strength. Nylon is not used actually because of its high cost purpose. And nylon in general, it has a good cold room temperature. It can work best at cold room temperature where this polyester and polyolefins will not work. Polyester based strapping materials are also used for identification of the package. For example, if it is a type of mm, you can seen about Nabati or else, for example, different types of Britannia cookies, for example, pista cookies and butter cookies are packed, and both are loaded in a single consignment. Pista cookies will be of green color packaging, and butter cookies might be with blue color packaging. how to differentiate without opening the package. By the polyester packaging material, while manufacturing itself, we can tell the manufacturer to tell make it in a green color, and we can tell him with make it in a blue color, so that when the consignment is packed this type for a, when the consignment is packed in a manufacturing unit for distribution purposes, the green color strapping material can be used for pista cookies, and blue color strap for uh, butter cookies. This makes the strapping materials can also be used in identification of the products which is transferred. Here we get into one of the most uh, important segment of a industry, packaging machinery. Because without packaging, firstly, without a product, no packaging. But without machinery, no packaging. I hope you are getting. If there is no requirement for a product, there is no need of manufacturing a product. If a product has to be manufactured, it has to be delivered in the market. For delivering, packaging is needed. For proper packaging, machinery is needed. Whatever the product it is, invariable of the names. Here, there are different types of packaging machines used in packaging industry, food and beverages industry. We will look at some of the mentioned things here. There are majorly used are now generally vacuum packaging, food packaging machines are involved. For example, for chips packaging, the product will be the packaging material will be come in and come, and the product will be formed, the package will be formed, and it will be sealed, and the product, the gases present inside the formed flexible laminate, it will be sucked out, and the product will be filled in it. Then what will happen, gas flushing will be done. Because due, even if 1% of oxygen present, it will increases the oxidation. The oxidation increase uh, will cause the lifetime, will reduce the lifetime of the uh, chips, and it makes the chips soggy. So that N2 will be flushed inside, then it will be sealed. That is vacuum packaging machine. Then heat shrink food packaging machine, piston filling machines, check wall filling machines, rotary wall filling machines, net wave filler, cup fillers, auger fillers, vertical form fill seal machines, horizontal form fill seal machine, stick packer, bottling machines, cartoning or other flexible types of packaging for bagging, labeling, capping, palletizing, and wrapping. These are very limited machineries I have mentioned here. Apart from it, there are many, out of which, due to the time constraint and limitations, I am going to discuss some of the mentioned machines here. Piston filling machine. Piston filling machines are of two types. Basically, check wall piston filling machines and rotary wall piston filling machines. Okay, and why these piston filling machines are used? These piston filling machines are generally used in packaging of liquid products. That two free flowing. That is categorized into two: free flowing liquids and non free flowing liquids or pastes. For free flowing liquids, we use check wall piston systems, and for paste and non free flowing liquid, we use rotary. Here, here in the left, first thing is the left side of the image shows the check valve filling systems. Here, from the bottom of the container, from the bottom of the tube, there comes the product which has to be filled. Okay, and the piston will be continuous action. During the suction stroke of it, the product will be during the suction stroke, the ball which is present, the wall which is present here will open, and which inlets the product. And during the relation or the exhaust stroke, the material will push the piston will push the product from the cylinder, so that the upper check valve system will be upper checker system, check valve system will open, and it helps in disposing and filling to the product. Filling system, here it is same case, but it is not for it is for non free flowing packaging material, non free flowing products that has to be packed. Okay, here there will be a guide wall which will automatically change the path of it. Here the product will come in from the upper surface, and it will be filling, same piston will, when suction stroke it will suck, and while during the exhaust stroke it will just push the product through the funnel which is made. It will directly fill, and the packaging container will continuously moving from one part to the another for the filling purpose. Net weight filling machines, these are the oldest, and this is also used for packing of regular and irregular sized products, and for dry and slightly moist products. These are handles irregular shapes, size and weights. For example, rice packaging, beans packaging, nuts packaging, cereals or granulated products or candy. It just consists of an hopper. We will fill the product to be packed inside the container or a package. It will just from the it will just fall into the hopper. From the hopper, as per the computer setting, it permits a certain amount of product from the hopper to a load cell. Load cell is nothing but a generally a weighing machine which actually weighs the product. For example, 100 rupees, 50 rupees or 100 rupees melody packet weighs around, for example, it weighs around 200 200 grams. For example, in case 200 grams, 200 grams of chocolates, single unit chocolate will fall on the load cell. After weighing, it will just fall on to the packaging material, by which is opened by mechanical means. Volumetric filling machines. Volumetric filling machines are of two types, and this volumetric filling machines are generally used for two products which is in granular form or powder form. Okay, cup fillers and auger fillers are used in volumetric filling. The cup fillers, why cup fillers are used? It is used for a granulated product, and most importantly, listen carefully. Cup fillers are used for filling granulated products, and most importantly, it used to fill non-hygroscopic products. Non-hygroscopic products. Okay, it is just a mechanism which is shown in the image over the left side. Here, from the hopper, the product granules will be formed. Granulars will be stored there, stored in the hopper. When the slot is moving here and there, when the slot comes uh, in line with the hopper, the product gets filled due to the gravity. The size of the slot will be the actual size of the product which is desired to packed in the packaging. Okay, then auger. Auger fillers are basically used for fine particles, which is hygroscopic in nature. Which is hygroscopic in nature. Auger fillers are generally used to pack fine particles of products, which is hygroscopic in nature. It consists of the rate of dispersion is generally based upon the rotation of the auger. The rotation of the auger is determined by the motor which is fixed above. It is not a continuously moving auger, because when the auger is continuously rotated, the product inside the hopper will be dispersed to the funnel, thereby to the cup which is below, so that it will not be rotating continuously. For example, for dispersing a 5 gram of masala powder or 25 grams of masala powder, 5 rotation of auger is needed. Only to that time, for 5 rotations only, the auger will operate. And there are two blades which is mentioned here as blender 1 and blender 2. As I earlier mentioned, These This is used for fine products and for hygroscopic products, because while packing, these products might absorb moisture from the environment. To avoid formation of lumps, it is continuously agitated by using of blender 1 and blender 2. Okay, this part is continuously in rotation motion, invariable or in relation with the invariable of the rotation of the auger. Okay, from the funnel tube, there will be a cup. As after five rotations of the auger, 25 grams will be filled in the cup. Then from the cup, the product package will be down. The product will the cup will be opened so that it will fill the package. And then vertical form fill seal machines. It is generally used in milk industry and other such packaging of liquids also. Packaging of liquids, pastes, granules, powders, tablets, snack foods, and much more are filled using vertical form fill seal machines. These vertical form fill seal machines are generally it is of there will be an conical setup. There will, from one end, the packaging material is unwinded, which is pre-printed with the desired decoration and information to be provided. It will come, and as per the image displayed on the left side, it will get folded due to the conical surface of the conical structure provided. It will come, and then what happened? Fin sealing will be provided first. Fin sealing in the sense, where fin sealing in the sense, there will be, for example, if we take a milk packet, there will be a seal in between the package. That is known as fin seal. Okay. After the fin is sealed, then what will happen? End seal will be there. End seal is the bottom package seal. Okay, after sealing the bottom package, the product will be flown through the hopper, which is shown in the upper part. From the part, for example, 500 ml should be dispersed. Milk will be 500 ml of milk will be falling through it, because the bottom end is sealed. It hold inside the container. Then it will get down a bit so that the uh, top of the product is also filled. What happened while sealing the bottom of the one end, it will also seal the top of the other end. And then detachment will happen, and then distribution and arranging in crate will also happen. Then horizontal form fill seal machines. Form fill seal machines are similar to vertical form fill seal machines, but it operates in vertical directions. It is used for packing of goods like sweets. For example, if you get a product from Haldiram's, for example, Son Papdi, or some other sweets from Amul or something, it will be packed in a package, packed in a thermoformed container first, which is sealed, and again over there will be a lid. Apart from it, they will be packed in a container. They will be packed in a uh, packed in a packaging material, which is usually three side sealed. Okay, and this horizontal form fill seal machine has an capability of sealing the product in three or four side. Okay, and generally here, for example, consider the image. The products which are coming are sweet boxes, already packed sweet boxes which are coming. Below the sweet boxes, there is an unwinding layer which unwinds the packaging material, and it folds into a cover. And then firstly the fin seals are made, then the end seals are made, bottom end seals are made. Then while sealing the bottom of the one end, it also seals the bottom of the other top of the one end. It also seals the bottom of the other end, and also cuts it, and also detaches from the line. Here it is also possible to infuse vacuum to remove the air present inside, and also vacuum it also the vacuum total air present inside can also be removed before sealing. Stick packaging machines. uh, Sorry for the poor quality of the video. Here it is used to typically used for packing ice cream sticks kind of thing. For example, consider a gulfi or something. Or firstly, what will happen? There will be an horizontal, uh, from the upper part of it, the product will be unwind. The packaging material will be unwinded, and it will be conveyed to the bottom. While coming down itself, the fin seal, which will be made first. Then bottom seal will be made, and what will happen while making the bottom seal? At the same time, the product will also, for example, kulfi in this sense, the kulfi will fall from the top, as like vertical form fill seal machine. It will form from the top to the bottom, so that the product is filled. Then it has to be sealed at the top. While sealing the top, bottom of the other pack is also sealed and then detached and then dispatched. And this is an example of stand-up pouch filling and sealing machine. It involves like making a stand-up pouch is a tedious process. It is an advanced process which is generally coming here, and it is very tedious process. First, the bottom base will be prepared. The material will come, printed material will come. The bottom will be made, and then the top sealing layer, temporary sealing layer will also be made. Then a permanent sealing will be made, and it can be a rotary stand-up pouch fill sealing machine or horizontal stand-up pouch filling and sealing machine also. Stretch wrapping machine. Stretch wrapping machine is generally, for example, if we are making a consignment, uh, for this consignment we can't use a strapping material like wires or polyester material. We need a proper protection for the boxes or containers, but certain characteristics of the product limits the use of strapping material. In this case, we use stretch wrapping. Stretch wrapping in the sense, if you can see the bottom of the bottom left side, there will be an unwinding portion where the polymeric layer will come, polymeric film will come. It will be fitted with adhesive with at the bottom container, and then it started to rotate. The palletized boxes will rotate on a platform. While rotating itself, it will stretch. While rotating it, these are oriented films which can be stretched to a certain extent. By the For that extent, it will be rotated, and the bottom layer will be the machine has a capability to increase the height to fill till the top, so that the stretch wrapping machine protects all the container invariable of the position they have located, whether bottom or middle or at the top. Then shrink wrapping machine. Shrink wrapping machines we already saw. I've already told you guys. Shrink wrapping machines are generally, mhm, or as you can see, it is not clear, I guess. Shrink wrapping machines is a kind of labeling, as well as it can be used as an tamper evident. Okay, the it is what you guys are seeing is an beverage bottle. From the top of it, pre-formed labels will fall over the bottle as per the setting. These machines what we are talking about are majorly controlled by PLC. It is an programming. Based upon the programming, at this time the product should move to this point, and this time the label should fall from the top. It is a setting we have to set in the computers. Okay, after this shrink wrap, why it is called as shrink wrap? You can see the label which is inserted over the bottle, it is just shaking. Okay, then after this placement of the shrink wrap over the bottles, it is just went to a heating tunnel, where heat will be produced. Heat on the application of heat, these loose applied label materials will be will get themselves attached with the bottle, so that there will be no gap between them. it can by increasing the height of the label material, it can also close the closure as well. Then labeling machine, it is just as advanced here, which is visible. It is just a packed, completely packed. It can be for different product as well. Based upon it, for example, if you consider it is a glue applied, there will be the label material will be coming from one side, and the glue, while on the way it will be, there will be a rotary element, rotary cylinder with the glue on over it. It will just slide glue over it, or polymeric glue, hot melt glue over it. It will just fix the, after that it will fix the labeling element for identification. Okay, this is all about the packaging materials we have, machinery we have to discuss. Okay, now we just look after certain recent regulatory packaging updates as we are into our last part of our session today for today. Okay, recent packaging regulatory updates. Recent packaging regulatory updates shows that earlier in India, only virgin plastics or newly made packaging materials only can be used for the manufacturing. Sorry, for only can be used for packaging of food products, and the packaging material, especially which is in contact with the mm, food product, it is should be virgin, and all other layers should be virgin. But here what they are telling is, the government of India has start government of India has started to uh, okay, it is not opening. Okay, I will express in words. Government of India has passed an amendment very recently in the month of uh, June, and in between June and July, they permitted the use of recycled polyethylene terephthalate uh, in packaging of food products, that too with certain terms and conditions. Okay, this, but they also mentioned that the food contact layer, that is inside layer of the packaging material, should be made of virgin plastic, and they have given certain how to recycle the, there are given certain steps how the recycled product should be made of. Earlier, the things should be sourced properly before recycling. After recycling, the product should be cleaned, and the source of the product should be verified and then cleaned properly. The cleaned product should be sanitized properly. Then the sanitized products should be broken into uh, can be brought into next recycling stages, that is melting. After melting it, we can form granules by extrusion process. These recycling granules can be used in manufacturing of other parts of laminates apart from food contact layer. That too, the food contact layer should be of virgin plastics, that is non-recycled plastics. Okay, and only one manufacturer across India has got approval to manufacture the recycled polyethylene terephthalate that can be used by the various industries. That is, I guess, Sri Chakra Polyplast, a company in Hyderabad or some parts of Andhra and Telangana. The manufacturer called Sri Chakra Polyplast, they got recent approval after after checking their all their manufacturing process, their sourcing parameters, their operation condition, environment of manufacturing, and the quality of the film they made, and it all ticked all the boxes as per the government regulations, so that they have approved the uh, loan manufacturer in the whole India, that is Sri Chakra Polyplast. Again, this is metrology is based upon labeling parameters. It is also mentioned very recently that government of India also within 2 months or 3 months of gap, government of India is also mentioned per gram or per gram usage or per gram consumption of the product should be price per gram and price per ml should be mentioned. That these all are the these are the recent amendments which were passed by the government of India uh, to the thing to the manufacturing industries. uh, okay, I think okay, questions and clarifications are welcome. This is the end of the explanatory part of the session. Now we can get into the section. You can just post your questions in your chat box. You can just post. One of the question, Rutvika, can you please explain? Can you please give some example of products where RFID is used? Okay. RFID used, I have generally not seen in any fast-moving consumer goods, but recently I bought a bottle from Decathlon. I have seen a RFID tag which is in their label, not in currently used for. Their industries are not generally using RFID tags in their products as of now due to the cost limitations. When the situation demands, they will definitely use. And Rutvika, again, you asked a question. Can you please explain what is multi-layer packaging? I mean, Tetra Pak, an example of it. Okay. Mm, multi-layer packaging, the laminates is generally multi-layer packaging. Laminates in the sense, for example, chips, it is a multi-layer packaging. As I shown earlier, it is a combination of multiple layers. One layer will provide good printing surface, one layer will give good barrier properties, and other layer will give good sealing properties. These combinations, based upon the requirement of the products, the manufacturer will select. Tetra Pak is also an example of a multi-layer packaging. Example, epoxy. uh, Sayali. Sayali, could you please tell us about different types of milk packaging? Generally, milk packaging is done in two types. One is flexibles, that is that uses vertical form fill seal machines, and then it is Tetra Pak for improve the shelf life of the product. Uh, in Tetra Pak, as I already told, in Tetra Pak there is a various layer combinations. Okay, and the process involved, they generally make the flat layer, and then what they will do is they will send it to the filling unit. And what the filling unit will do is they will just to fold and seal. They will when you see a Tetra Pak, there will be an intermediate seal, and that intermediate seal is made first. Then the top layer will have a seal. That seal will be made and then pressurized, and the flaps will be pressurized, and sometimes adhesives will also given. Then what happen, by the mechanical means, it will invert the package will be inverted, and the product will be filled on the backside of the backside of the Tetra Pak. Then the flaps will be closed, and then it is sealed using vacuum pressure. Then the bottles will be inverted again, and then using the, if in case fruit juices, a straw will be inserted in it. By the help of the straw will be attached in it. It will be just stick to with the help of adhesives. Okay, in case of normal flexible pouches, they just use LDPE pouches as for packing fill, uh, for packing milks. Can you please give me example of products where epoxy phenolic is used as a lacquer? It is generally used for the products which requires high degree of chemical resistance. I don't know about mostly about food and food products, but the products which in general require products which require uh, the products which require a high degree of chemical resistance will use epoxy phenolic as an lacquer material. Edible packaging, the standards are same for everything, but edible packaging, due to the cost constraint and their serviceability and serviceability limitations, edible packaging are not used up to date. Check digit is just a calculation. How to calculate check digit? Check digit, you can take the barcode. Barcode will consist of manufacturer's, sorry, country of origin, first three digit. Then next four digit consist of manufacturer's code. Then four digit, five digit of product code, and last digit is known as check digit. Okay, you just skip one after the other. Okay, take consider one after the other. You should skip, multiply with three, and then plus other. What are the digits you have skipped? You just add it again. You will find an answer. For example, in the shown presentation, it was 58. You take modulus of 58. Okay, you will get 8. Then mod of 10 we have taken. Just minus the mod of 10, that is 8, with 10. 10 minus 8 will give you 2, which served the check digit value, which you can check with the random product which is available next to you. Glass and metal, which is best packaging, which is best for packaging? Both are best. In my perspective, both are best because both serve the purpose of absolute barrier of water vapor, gas barrier, and water vapor transmission. As long as you can recycle glass and metals n number of times, if it is properly collected and properly recycled as per the standards. Gas, for example, glass, it can be recycled n number of times. For while making a glass for the first time, it consumes more energy, more water, more manpower. But while a recycling glass will be added to a original glass, newly forming glass, recycled beads of the glass will be added to the new beads of the glass in a tunnel. While adding the recycled glass, it will reduce the uh, glass forming time, the mold which we will prepare, the mold of glass we will make earlier. Then the mold will be formed into gob. Then the gob will be blown into a mold to form a proper structure of the bottle. The glass will take consume less energy, less electricity, less fuel, less water consumption when it is recycled. While manufacturing, it consumes more. Metal, in the case, it is also same like glass. It is also same, but the mechanical activity done for metals will be same for new and recycled metals. No, 3D printing is not used. It is still a cost effective thing, costly matter. Until now, if we are the students of packaging, especially I have worked on certain product designs, and certain product designs like five to six, I'm working on sixth one. I'm trying to make a prototype out of 3D. For making a single prototype to be 3D printed, it cost around 3000 or so, 3500 to 3000. Based upon the grammage, it is increasing. So it is not used in packaging till date. It can be used for luxury products, that too used in different industry. As you have mentioned that recently India have regulated recycling packaging. Why India is? Yes, eco-friendly concept. Eco-friendly concept doesn't serve the purpose. Not all the companies are, sorry, not all the countries are into eco-friendly concepts. Okay, in America, even USA or Canada, or whatever the company or whatever the nations you are talking about, mm, this uh, they are not into eco-friendly. They are just trying to collect the product properly and recycling and reuse it. I have spoken with one of the traveler from USA when I was in airport once. They are just using for fast food, they are just using paper. But as per their concept, it is degradable, so that they are using. But inside the, to withstand the heat of the temperature, heat of the food product in fast food or heat of a beverage, there will be a coating of layer provided inside, which is usually made of wax, or generally a liner might also be used. When it is used, it will not become an eco-friendly. Outer to it, they will definitely print with the things. Okay, when it is printed with particular part of inks, which consists of polymeric material, it doesn't come eco-friendly. But eco-friendly, you kindly, people who are studying food technology or whatever the stream we are into, sustainability and eco-friendly are the gambling that are made by the industries. Okay, to improve the name and talks. Okay, but actually these are not properly defined yet. Eco-friendly and sustainability, till date they are not properly designed, and no proper standards are available for this. Whatever the company tells, if they does, that is eco-friendly. Whatever a company does, if they tell sustainable, that is sustainable. But for saving a product from barriers or environmental hazards, a sustainable product will not serve the purpose that much. Active and intelligent packaging. As I told, these RFID tags and this the thermochromic inks, which have freshness check systems, these are active and intelligent packaging system. They are just used in freshness check, and it is not majorly used for many products. They are just tried to use for beef products. I guess beef and fruits and vegetables they are using. Apart from it, for normal packages, they are not preferring due to the cost involved. Whenever you have to keep in mind, whenever a packaging is designed, cost constraint will also be a part of it. Because company while designing a packaging, they are making when formulating a food product, they will also formulate a different set of options. For example, if X, Y, Z is also produces a result of desired result, if A, B, C is also capable of providing a same result, but X, Y, Z is costly, A, B, C cost less, company will definitely prefer A, B, C. Okay, so that when a company get into active and intelligent packaging systems, the cost of packaging will also get increased. For that purpose, they avoid active and intelligent packaging in the market. But for their reasons, for their inventory and calculation of stock in the warehouses, they are recently using started using some of the consumer goods industry, not food industry in particular. Other than food industry, they are started using RFID tags. Apart from it, this freshness check systems are used in particularly for beef products because it cannot be visualized. Internet of packaging. The above same answer will be suitable for it. Please change the next question. Leandra, please change the next question. Can you name some points that are necessary to avoid to use for recycling plastics? Can you name some points that are necessary to avoid to for using recyclable plastics in food packaging? Recycled packaging. Okay, when it come to a multi-layer packaging, uh, it cannot be recycled actually. To be frank, okay, the chocolate wrappers and for example the chips packets or for example Maggie Pichku packets, it cannot be recycled properly. It cannot be recycled, not properly. It cannot be recycled. Why I am telling is the recycling needs to be removal of individual layers. Okay, removal of individual layers is not feasible up to date across the globe. Removal of individual layer of the multi-layer packaging material which is manufactured is not possible till date. It is a costly matter and it is only done in the lab scale by using solvents. Okay, in case of rigid plastics, for example, bottle, if it is made of only one HDPE or LDPE or PET, it can be recyclable. Beverages bottle can be recyclable until or unless if it is sourced from a poor bad condition, it cannot be recycled. Okay, thank you for the patience you guys have maintained for the day and for the session. And I think the Andhra we can conclude the session.
Yes, yes. So this was quite an interesting and informative session. I hope all present here today learned a lot in the past 2 days. On behalf of the team at Foodyaari, I would like to thank Mr. Maharajan Sundar, who has taken time from his busy schedule to enlighten us. It was an excellent session. I'm sure everyone here knows a little, if not a lot, about various topics regarding food packaging, like different type of stimulants of different kinds of foods, plastic recycling symbols, flexibles, important adhesives, decoding barcodes, packaging machinery, and other interesting topics. We are sure we will now look at the labels with a totally different vision. I would also like to thank Team Foodyaari for organizing this great session. Lastly, I would like to um, um, thank all the attendees for being very enthusiastic and disciplined during this entire session. The starred comment by Foodyaari will give you the link for getting your certificates. You will also receive an email for the same. Please check your inboxes. Thank you so much,
And
everyone, and have a good day.
I have to thank Foodyaari for providing this wonderful opportunity. Especially, I have to thank Mr. Harish and Ms. Pratiksha and you, Ms. Diandra. Thank you for having me, Foodyaari, and thank you, participants, for my little slags and mistakes you might have beared everything. Thank you for listening me. Next time, we might meet in a different course or a different part if possible with Foodyaari. And I hope Arish will provide the same. Thank you, Arish, and thank you, Foodyaari. Thank you, Diandra. Thank you,
Thank you.
participants.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.